Let's talk about artificial intelligence. It's this technology that's supposed to solve our biggest problems, right? But what if it's also creating a massive new one at the exact same time? And nowhere is that paradox, that contradiction more clear than in the fight against climate change.
So, what's the deal? Is AI our best hope for the planet? Or is it the newest threat? Is it going to be the revolutionary hero we need to build a sustainable future? Or is it just this new hungry engine of consumption that's going to make the whole crisis even worse? That's the big question we're tackling.
And you probably guessed it. The answer is, well, it's complicated. It's not a simple yes or no. It really is a paradox, a true double-edged sword. So to really get our heads around it, we've got to look at both sides of the coin. And let's start with the good stuff, the incredible promise of AI as a force for good.
All right, first up, the case for AI as our climate savior. And the argument here is actually pretty compelling. The whole idea is that if we can point this immense brain power at our most complex systems, we can unlock savings and efficiencies that we couldn't even see before. Okay, for example, think about something like global shipping. It's a huge source of emissions, right? Well, AI can look at everything, everything, real-time traffic, weather, delivery schedules, and figure out the absolute most efficient route. And this isn't just a theory. We're talking about cutting fuel waste by up to 23%. That's a real, tangible number that means less fuel burned and less carbon in the air.
And it's not just about trucks and ships. It's about our buildings, too. You know, office buildings, malls, they are massive energy hogs. But AI can turn them into truly smart buildings that actually think. They can adjust the heat, the AC, the lights, all based on who's actually in the building and what the weather's doing outside. The potential there is a massive 19% cut in their energy use. That's huge.
But it goes even deeper than just saving energy. AI is becoming this crucial tool for adapting to the climate changes that are already happening. It's about keeping people safe. Take Google's Flood Hub. It uses AI to predict floods with, frankly, incredible accuracy. It gives people early warnings, that vital time they need to prepare and get out of the way. This isn't about kilowatt hours anymore. This is literally about saving lives.
And the wins just keep stacking up. You've got DeepMind using AI to cut the energy used to cool its own data centers by 40%. That's wild. Or using it to spot illegal fishing from space. Or figuring out the super complex puzzle of how to balance our power grids with renewables. The point is, AI is already making a real, measurable difference. The potential here is it's undeniable.
Okay, so far so good, right? But there's always a but. Every big leap forward comes with a price tag. And as we're all starting to see, the AI revolution has a massive and rapidly growing environmental footprint. So now let's flip the coin and look at the other side of this story.
This quote from Microsoft's president, Brad Smith, it really says it all. The moon has moved. What he means is that for years, tech companies had these huge moonshot goals for the climate, to go carbon negative. But the insane energy demand from this new AI boom has just changed everything. The target they were aiming for isn't even in the same place anymore. And yeah, it's moved further away.
So what are these costs we're actually talking about here? To really get it, we can break the problem down into three big things that AI is just devouring at an incredible rate: electricity, fresh water, and of course, the emissions that come with them.
Okay, let's start with electricity. Just look at this number, 945 terawatt hours. What does that even mean? It's one of those numbers that's so big, your brain kind of shuts off. But stick with me, because what it stands for is staggering. That is how much electricity data centers are expected to use by 2030. And yeah, that's mostly because of the AI explosion. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that is more electricity than the entire country of Japan uses in a year. Think about that. All of Japan. This isn't just a little bump. It is a monumental surge in how much power the world needs.
All right, next up is water. And it turns out AI is incredibly thirsty, and this reveals a huge hidden cost. So you see this number, 700,000 liters. What on earth could possibly use that much fresh water?
That's how much fresh, clean water it takes to cool the data centers just for training one big AI model like GPT-3. Just one. Now imagine scaling that up across the whole industry. The projections are kind of terrifying. By 2027, the AI industry could be drinking up half the water the entire United Kingdom uses in a year. And this is all happening while billions of people are already facing water shortages. It's a huge problem.
So all of this leads to a massive headache for the big tech companies, right? The very ones building all this stuff. For years, they've been trying to be the good guys on climate, making these really big, ambitious promises. But now, their race to win at AI is smashing right into those green goals.
Let's just take a look at Google. The goal: achieve net zero emissions by 2030. Awesome. The reality? Their emissions are actually up 48% since 2019. And yeah, that's pretty much all driven by the energy needed for AI. And trust me, they are not alone in this.
Yeah, this is definitely not just a Google thing. Look at Microsoft. Their emissions are up 30% in about the same time frame. You see the pattern here, right? It's happening across the industry. The insane amount of power AI needs is making the carbon footprints of these companies go up, not down.
So, okay, we've got a pretty serious conflict on our hands. But is that it? Game over? Or can we figure this out? Can we innovate our way through this mess? This brings us to the biggest question of all. How do we build an AI that's actually sustainable? One where we get all the progress without wrecking the planet.
And here's the absolute key. We have to change how we think about this. The environmental cost can't just be some, oops, side effect we deal with later. Sustainable AI has to become a core discipline. It has to be just as fundamental as the algorithms or the data. It needs to be baked in from the very start, not sprinkled on at the end.
And look, this isn't just wishful thinking. There's a real game plan here. First, shrink the need for so much power by just making more efficient models. Second, be smart about when and where you run the big, power-hungry jobs. Do it when there's tons of sun and wind on the grid. Third, the data centers themselves have to go fully green with 24/7 clean energy. And fourth, we've got to recycle the hardware, the chips, all of it.
We can even put this on a timeline. By 2026, every developer should be able to see the carbon footprint of their code as they're writing it. By 2027, let's get half of all AI jobs running on carbon-free energy. By 2028, we need to be using smarter, smaller, more efficient models across the board. And the big goal for 2030, to make AI net positive, where the good it does for the climate is actually bigger than the harm it causes.
But look, the tech geniuses can't do this alone. It's not just a code problem. We need good rules and regulations in place. We need companies to be completely honest about how much energy and water they're really using. And, super important, we need to make sure everyone can access these powerful climate tools, especially the people who are most vulnerable to what's coming.
So, what's the bottom line here? It's actually pretty simple. AI is just a tool, a really, really powerful tool. It's not good or bad on its own. Its impact, whether it helps or hurts the planet, comes down to us. It depends entirely on what problems we decide to aim it at.
In the end, you can think of AI as a giant mirror. It just reflects our own values and priorities back at us, but amplified 1,000 times. So the question for all of us is, what do we want that reflection to look like? Are we going to point all this incredible power toward solving our greatest challenge and creating a sustainable future? Or are we just going to let it become another engine for unchecked consumption? The choice really is ours.